But there's two things going on inside this activity that are so crucially important to everything that you do and the way that you show up in your life every single day, all of the time. Number one, that is what it feels like to have somebody else say yes to one of your ideas. It feels great. Even though they have to in this game. They don't have a choice. They have to say yes. It still feels great. If I have an idea that I'm not really sure about, I'm like, I don't know, let's bring some chairs. And Kylie's like, yeah, chairs, that's awesome. I'm instantly inspired about my own idea. Even if I was totally lukewarm about it 2 seconds ago, as soon as she's like, yeah, cheers, that's awesome, I'm like, oh, chair suggester. This guy, what? I mean, no big deal, but it was my idea, so that's cool. And the opposite is true. When she's like, chairs, that's dumb, right? That's boring. I don't want to sit around in chairs all day. I take that on too. I'm like, oh yeah, chairs. Who said that? What? That's stupid. Or, depending on my personality type, I don't take that on. I just silently resent her because she hated my idea. Right? I'm like, oh, you don't like chairs? What do you got? What do you got? Just kidding. We're cool. Secondly, that is what it feels like to say yes to someone else's idea. Something that was generated in somebody else's brain, came out of somebody else's mouth, it was someone else's contribution. You said yes to it like it was the greatest idea that you've ever heard, and nobody died from that. Also had the awesome side effect of having that person have a completely different experience, right? To be way more excited, to have an easier time coming up with ideas, to feel more creative, to be way more engaged and enthusiastic, right? A completely different experience based on your response and reaction to their ideas. And I can smell smoke grinding in people's brains, so I'll say it so you don't have to say it. We can't say yes to every single thing in the world. We can't. It is not possible. There are plenty of horrible, terrible ideas that you must say no to. Otherwise, you will fail as an organization. You'll get sued. You will put yourself in a lot of personal or financial danger. We cannot say yes to every single thing in the world. And that's not what I'm suggesting. I am not suggesting that when someone has an idea, we'll be like, yeah, I love that idea. We'll put it into practice. We'll never fight again. We'll always get along. Good luck. Not possible. This is life. It's real life. We have to be critical thinkers. We have to be analytical. We have to make strategic decisions, right? We can't just say yes to everything in the world. And I am not suggesting that we fake that we like ideas that we don't. We be inauthentic and pretend like we're happy all the time. Any of that. This is not about saying yes to other people's ideas. It is not. What this is about you being aware of and taking responsibility for the way that you impact every single person in your life, every single time that you open your mouth, based on your choice of words, your body language, your energy level, your mindset, all of those things. We have a massive impact over people around us, and it is not about saying yes or no to their ideas. The outcome of saying yes to someone else's idea is irrelevant. There's a way to say yes to someone to make them feel like crap. If I'm like, fine, I'll go on a hike with you. Ugh. Technically, that's a yes. And it sucks. And there's a way to say no to someone to make them feel like, I heard what you said, I considered it, this conversation is important to me, and you are valuable to me, but that idea does not work, and this is why. It is possible to say yes to the person and no to the idea. And the distinction between those two things in your life as a leader, as a human being, is so important that you understand the difference between those two things and take responsibility for that in the way that you show up with other people. It is so important. It is not about saying yes or saying no. It is how we say yes and how we say no and what impact that has on other people. Yeah, give the rest of your teams a hand for being awesome. All right. I have a question for all of you, which is this. If the very first thing that I did when I got up here, instead of talking about improv or yes and or any of that stuff at all, I just had you clump up at your tables into teams and out of thin air create a brand new sport and all the rules to that sport without any other kind of introduction about anything, just came up here and had you do that, what would that have looked like in here? Super awkward. Maybe a handful of you sharing ideas. Most of you would not have opened your mouth one time, right? Be like, what? I don't know anything about sports. This is dumb. I hate it when it's interactive. Oh, I hate it. And it is unbelievable in that much time, in a minute and a half, however much time that you had, that you were able to come up with what you just did at your tables. Probably some super weird ideas out there. But there is absolutely 0% chance 1 hour ago that you could have done that, or anything even remotely close to that. You could have created what you just did in that much time. And nobody in this room is any different. None of you are more creative. None of you are more outgoing. None of you are more confident about sharing your ideas with other people than you were an hour ago. Nobody knows anything more about sports than you did an hour ago. You are exactly the same people in the same room. All that we did was change our culture. That's it. We changed the way that we show up, that we participate and engage, that we treat each other, right? The way that we participate and work together and engage, and this is possible. This is the power of having an intentional culture that says this is what it means to be part of this team. This is how we show up for each other every single day and participate and treat each other, that we respond to other people's ideas and work together as a team. It is unbelievable. It is. The idea of like what that would have looked like an hour ago versus now. And the reality is that it's not about everyone else. You showed up individually, personally, in a completely different capacity than you would have an hour ago. It's not like everyone else was different and you would have been exactly the same. You showed up as a completely different person. And the reality about this is that we don't need better people in our organizations. We need a culture that brings the best out of the people that we already have. This room, yes. This room is full of creative, brilliant people. All of you are super intelligent and super creative and brilliant. But 1 hour ago, you could not have done that. And that's not because of you. That is about culture. And the reality is that if we focus on bringing the best out of the people around us, it brings the best out of ourselves. As a leader and as a human being, that is absolutely true. You guys talk about being better together. This is better together. If we operate under a frequency, right, a higher frequency of operating where our focus is to pull the best out of the people around us, there's nothing that we cannot accomplish. Can you imagine, instead of the bottom 20 or 30% of how we show up every day and the way that our employees and teams show up every single day and what they give, if we could tap into this, what this would feel like if we jumped into teams and every single person totally fearlessly, 100% contributing and engaged? Unbelievable. And fearlessly. During that time, was there anyone that had a bunch of ideas that they didn't share because they thought that people would think their ideas were stupid? Nope. You shared all your stupid ideas and they were fine. Because everybody else around you was like, yep, that can work. I love it. Boom, and this, right? It's like, this is possible, you guys, to unlock what is available in all of us, but it takes an intentional culture. And to just circle back to everything that we've just done here in this time, the first activity, the one-word letter, back and forth, that when we're interacting and having a conversation and communicating with somebody else, that we are present. We're tuned in, we listen to that person, and we're just right there all the time in the way that we show up. The second one, the picnic exercise, we're saying yes or no, or being indifferent, right? That it's not how we say yes, right? It's not that we say yes or that we say no, it is how. It is the words that we have, our choice of words, our body language, our energy level, our mindset, and the impact that we have over each other as leaders and just human beings and part of a team. And this last activity, this is available to us if we have a culture that brings the best out of our people, that is intentional. And I just encourage you guys to think about this idea of a yes-and culture where we all show up every single day to say yes to one another, right? Not literally to every single thing, but we're open and receptive. Is there any way we can make that happen, right? Number 2, that we listen and we're present and tuned into one another. Number 3, that we make other people look good. That is my focus. If I make everyone around me look brilliant, I will look brilliant. That's the reality. Number 4, we embrace change, we embrace failure. We don't hold on to our ideas. We don't hold preciously to the way we've always done things. We're just like, let's be better, let's improve together. And the last one, be positive. In an authentic way, not in a fake, cheesy way, we choose to use positive language and bring positive energy to what we do in our teams and other people around us because it has so much impact. This is better together. This is it. It's everything. Thank you guys so much for your time. You're awesome.